In today's lesson, I'm going to share with you ways you can solo over the 16-bar minor blues work song. If you don't already know the chords and you want to learn a little bit more about the harmony, then check my previous lesson on that in the description or in the card above. So I'm going to go through what scales and what chords you can use over the chords. Now, let's put the chart up on the screen. So we're in the key of F minor, we've got 4 flats, 16 bars, and I'm going to go from using one scale that fits over the whole progression to a couple modes you can use, plus a few arpeggio substitutions. Any questions, any comments, likes, things you want to ask, just leave them below. Now, on to the lesson. You can just use one scale over the changes to this song and get away with creating convincing melodies and following the harmony enough. If you want to use one scale just over this tune to make things easier, let's go with the F minor blues, or F blues scale as it's sometimes called. Notes being F, A flat, B flat, B, C, E flat, F. Root, minor third, fourth, flat 5, perfect 5th, minor 7, root. Okay, so that's one scale. So let's hear what that would sound like over the changes. I'll put the backing track on again with my loop, and I'm going to use F minor blues. So we've got, enough of the chord tones there. If we look at the chords that we've got F minor 7. So out of an F minor 7, we've actually got all the notes in that scale. So that's great. For the C7, we're missing a couple notes, yes, but we do have the root and the 7th. So we've got the C and the B flat in that scale. And over the B flat chord, we've only got the B flat and the A flat. And we haven't got a lot in this D flat chord. Well, actually we've got the B and the F, and then we've got the C7 again. As you can see there, we've got some of the notes of each of the chords, but not all, which means we can't outline the chords maybe as closely as some might like to, but we can get close enough. So, what I'm thinking there, or what I was trying to think was, when it's F, I'm going to go for the notes of the F chord that are within that scale. When it goes to C, the C and the B flat of that scale are 2 notes I could go for. Target them on the, the first note I hit when it goes to those chords. The flat 5 thing though, that B just works well over all of it and sounds great. So, I mean, sometimes the intervals will be a bit, tense and stuff, but that's what it's there for, to create tension, that note. So that's one scale over the entire progression. And that will be enough for some people, and we can add other stuff in later on and keep it simple for now. If we wanted to increase the sort of harmonic complexity a little bit and just add a little bit of richness to what we're doing, then yeah, modes are the way to go with that. And the F, let's just take the F chord first. So the F minor 7. Let me set up a sustained F minor 7 with this freeze pedal that I've got down here. So what I like over this chord here is F Dorian, so the second mode of the major scale. So F Dorian sounds like this. So we've got F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. So the 9th and the 6th have made an appearance. We've lost that flat 5 that we had from the blues scale, but you could always add that in, so sort of a hybrid Dorian plus flat 5 would be, which would work really well as well. Remember, you don't have to just stick in rigid boxes, you can mix and match the things you learn. I like that. Bit more of an interesting scale with the flat 5 in there as well, but the Dorian offers the 6th and the 9th, the D being the 6th. I mean, listen to that. Bags full of character, That's just with an F triad. Or if we went to the 9th. Let's go into the 6th. 9th. like that. So there's a lot of interest there just with those extra notes that we didn't have in the blues scale. 9th and 6th character notes, add them in. So F Dorian, yeah, get used to it in a couple places, but whenever it's F, you can use that. Let me stop this. What do we use over the C7? Now, the Mixolydian is a natural choice for a dominant 7th chord, but for me, in a minor key, that would just sound too sweet, too uplifting. So what we're going to do is slightly change that scale, and we're going to flatten the 2nd and the 6th, and it's going to be called Mixolydian flat 2 flat 6. This is one of my favourite scales. So it gives you, instead of, which is Mixolydian, we're going to have, you can hear it's a lot richer. Let me get a C7 going with this pedal down here. So I'll demonstrate that Mixolydian against this, the normal Mixolydian, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. It sounds fine against this, but in the context of F minor it might sound a little bit too uplifting. So instead we go for this. And where we had C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, in Mixolydian we now have a flattened 2nd, so instead of a D we have a D flat, then E, F, G, A flat instead of A, that's the flat 6, B flat, C. What we get is a scale with lots of semitone distances, C to D flat, E to F, G to A flat. And giving us the E is a nice leading tone back to F when the chord does eventually change. So C Mixolydian flat 2 flat 6, which it's a mouthful, but get used to it in 1 octave positions like this. Root E, root A, root D, and then maybe work up to 2 octave positions. But that's the scale of choice there. Now, for the other chords that you've got in the final line, things move a lot quicker there, so it might be easier to think in arpeggios or just go with that blues scale, but I think that B flat 7 would tolerate B flat Mixolydian, because at that point in the song the progression, it is kind of uplifting, that end bit. You know, we've got that heavy minor blues the first 12 bars, and the last 4 bars we can get quite an uplifting passage with frequency in chords increasing, and also the chords just I don't know, just the movements of them, it's quite pleasing. So B flat 7 Mixolydian, so B flat C, D, E, F, G, A flat, B flat, and then for the final bit, you know, the D flat to the C, I would just, you know, go blues scale, or the Mixolydian flat 2 flat 6 of C, or chord tones, you know. That's like D flat, up, then down C, landing on an F. For the F7 sharp 9, I think the blues scale would probably be the best one there, but you could also, you know, obviously stick in an arpeggio. So that would be the scales I would use. So over F minor, we had F Dorian, or F blues. Over C7 we had C Mixolydian flat 2 flat 6. Over B flat Mixolydian, and over the D flat and C7 we're going to go back to the F blues, and the same for the F7 sharp 9. And I've obviously put that on the screen so you can digest that. And those are just options, like I said, get used to just the 1 scale option first, you know, before you venture into those 7 note scales. So I think it will be easier for you to begin with. When you get sections like this, we're going like that last 4 bars, you know, things are moving quickly there. So I think it's important for you to go for simple options there. If you're trying to think of a scale when there's 2 beats on the chord, you know, that's just, it's too much thinking going on. You're not going to make enough music. So probably definitely that last line, probably best to sort of simplify it to the F blues probably. Now let's move on to what arpeggios we could use over this tune. So about my 10th cup of tea today. Arpeggios, you know, you don't have to use just the arpeggio for the chord. We can use others, which is what I would do on this one, particularly where we've got ages on F. I mean, how many bars, what percentage of the time are we spending on F minor in this chord? So if we just played F minor 7, things would get pretty boring. So I like the idea of arpeggio substitution, superimposing, you know, over the top of other chords. So for instance, playing A flat major 7 over F minor 7, and you create interesting sounds. And I'll go through a few of those now. You know, F minor for 4 bars is a long time. Let's get an F going again with the freeze. So F minor 7. So, some things we could do. Most obvious choice, an F minor 7 arpeggio over, but you need to be able to do this. So F, A flat, C, E flat, root 3rd, 5th, minor 7th. From different places. As octaves. You know, on 1 string, 2 strings, 3 strings. Sorry, 2 strings would have been, 3 strings was, you know. So find that in different places, play it in octaves, that sort of thing. That's going to be to your benefit. And then, what about this? Play the triad plus other notes on the scale. So instead of a minor 7th, let's add a major 7th. Which, yeah, cool, do I need to resolve that somehow? But it sounds interesting. There's the 7th, so E flat. What about adding the 6th in? So that's F, A flat, C, D. So I went F, A flat, C, E, F, A flat, C, E flat, then D. Maybe even G, which is a 9th. I can get it above or below. There's above, there's below. So like some of these ideas. Write that F triad, then down F, E, E flat, D. So root, major 7, minor 7, 6. Then finish on the 9th, you know. So triad plus other notes is a good way. And when you do things like this, the triad is so strong, you just add 1 note to that, then you get a nice chord and response. So the first one's the chord, the second one's the response. So these are good little ideas. That's just playing with an F minor triad, so we're not really superimposing so much there, we're just playing with different colours within F. But what if we played other arpeggios over this? So I like to do ones built off the notes of the chords. So we've obviously done ones built off F, so let's do ones built off A flat. So A flat's our minor 3rd. What about A flat major 7? Listen to this. Sounds similar to some of the stuff I was just doing actually, and the reason why is the notes. So A flat is the 3rd against it, C is the 5th, E flat is the minor 7th, and G is the 9th. So the intervals of our A flat major 7 just flip and change over this chord because it's a different chord. What this gives us is it gives us the sound of F minor 9 without the root. So by bypassing the root, we're sort of missing one of the least interesting notes of the chord. So that's quite a good thing. How many times when you play an arpeggio do you just start on the root because it's just easier mentally to think like that? So that A flat major 7 over the F9 creates a minor 9 sound. Sounds pretty cool. Over the C, which is the 5th of F, let's try a C minor 7. I like that. Finishes on the 4th though, which is the B flat. So it needs to go down to the 3rd maybe. Or up to C. And you combine those last two, let's go A flat major 7, C minor 7. So maybe up 1 down the other. Then lands on an F. You got then this like, that's the movement you get, A flat, C minor, F, and it's just creating that sort of nice movement that we get. Sorry, I did jazz hands there, I didn't mean to. And moving on to the 7th of the F chord, so E flat, you could get an E flat major 7 off there, you know, so E flat, we get E flat's the 7th of F, G's the 9th, B flat's the 4th, D's the 6th, so we get quite an angular sort of bit more interesting sounding one. But again, resolve it by going to something F-like. So then I go E flat major 7 into an F triad, going down it, C, A flat, F. What about going into either C minor or A flat major 7? About movements and creating interesting movements. So we had F minor, A flat major 7, C minor 7, E flat major 7, and then and trying to combine those different ideas that we got there. Also, over this one sustained long chord, I think chords on the top 4 strings and inversions of them, like -7, like to are nice. So or even 6, which would be adding in the ninth to the top, so you get a 6/9 sound. These things are great for stabs and sustain chords, or things which move up the neck. Stop this. Let's move on to C7, just a few ideas on that one. So natural, obviously, get used to your C7 arpeggio. 1 octave, 2 octaves, different ways, starting from different notes, not always starting on C, start on the 3rd, the 5th, or the 7th, descend it, you know, sequence it, that sort of thing. Lots can be done, you know, as harmonic intervals. Get used to those sort of things first, and then I think just a nice one for this is what we call family of dominants, so which is C7, first one, then go a minor 3rd up, E flat 7, go a minor 3rd up again, G flat 7, go a minor 3rd up again, A7, back to C7. This, for me, I learned this from Django's diminished, which is the same thing. This is like C7 here, E flat 7, A7, we need it to go to an F, but it's not because I've got it stuck on a C. So we've got 4 dominant arpeggios there that you can use over it. You know, you have to be careful with those because some of them are quite tense, and I think you need them at, like, if you would just go back to F, like you had C7, then maybe E flat 7. Again, it's about, you know, whatever dominant you're on, and you land, like, so there, I landed on D flat, which was the 7th, the flat 7 of E flat, which puts me a semitone away from C, which is the 5th of F. So it's again about knowing the points between the chords at which you get nice connections. For that final line, I would just stick with the arpeggios for the chords. So, how do we play an F7 sharp 9 arpeggio? Well, easy way to do this is to combine triads. So within an F7 sharp 9 chord, you've actually got the notes of F and also an A flat major chord. So if you go F triad, then A flat triad, you get the sound of this. So like that. So you can combine 2 triads there, or just use an F7. You can think of it as just, you know, the arpeggio notes, and then B flat 7, D flat 7, C7. Sorry. Back to F. So things move quite quickly there, so you don't have tons of time to get through them, but this is still a valuable exercise to be able to outline the chords there with arpeggios. So I've covered a fair bit of ground today, and a few things which might prompt questions or things which you have to delve into deeper, and a few things probably I'll delve deeper into in future lessons. But as ever, any questions, any comments, then leave them below. If you're new here, my name's Andy, and I do jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday, so please consider subscribing, liking, really helps boost the channel. And if there's any suggestions for topics you'd like me to cover, whether it be standards or certain jazz guitar techniques or harmony or theory, whatever it might be, then definitely leave me a comment below, and I'll see you next time.